Good afternoon. Welcome back to my channel, Cosmic Insight Astrology. My name is Christina. Today, I'm here to discuss the future. And I'm here to discuss the future because of, as so many of you know, Queen Elizabeth died today. And it made me think and it made me do some kind of research. So I'm not going to analyze Queen Elizabeth charts because she's already dead. But there is significant actually aspects that showed the transit today. However, I erected a chart for Prince Charles, who became the Charles III after Queen Elizabeth. So I erected a chart because of the Queen and her husband, Philip, Prince Philip, never really thought Charles would be a good fit to be a king because he was weak, he was always sick, he was bullied, and he was just a weak person and had a weak personality. Somehow that's what they thought about him. So he's not going to be capable and bear all the responsibilities and the pressure. So I was like, all right, let's see, let's do a progress chart and let's do a transit chart and let's see what's going to happen. So everything is from Astro Data Bank. I don't know how, like exact is the time of birth anybody, but we have actually in the Astro Data Bank. But here is his chart, and I have to point a few things for you guys. So let's see, he is a Scorpio sun. And actually, I erected the chart for November 8th because we're going to have a Scorpio lunar eclipse, which is a total eclipse. And lunar eclipses are usually negative. And lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is representing detoxification, ending, trauma, scorpionic energy, don't forget. And so it could be very, very difficult. So look at that. So he has a 22 degrees sun, right? And 22 degrees by Nicola says like kill or to be killed. I'm not necessarily agreeing with his degree theory. However, okay, so he has a 22 degrees scorpionic sun. Look at that. On that day, the full moon is going to happen 16 degree, the lunar eclipse. So actually the eclipse is going to opposing his natal sun as well. It's going to be 6 degrees away, so his birthday is supposed to be 6 degrees away. But anyway, it is an opposition, and it is a significant opposition, if not exact, but still significant. And Venus is going to be on his moon, also opposing this full moon, which could be because Venus representing love. But don't forget, Venus is not only love over here. Venus has a nasty side. Venus really representing duality, the yin and the yang, the night and the day Venus. And, Venus could be evil as well. So with this kind of materialistic instinct here in Scorpio, which could be jealousy and opposing this kind of eclipse, it could be significant, and it is really hot. It is representing a hardship, difficulties. And what else can we see about here? Okay, so he's going to have another return as well. Nodal return, just like conjunctions, it could go either way. It could be really positive or very, very negative. So can it signify something like he will be the king and his whole entire life going to change like that? Of course, it can, but listen that and look at that. So the full moon eclipse going to be 2 degrees away where actually Uranus North Node and Mars conjunction happened, but is 1 in 100 life experience. So actually it happened in Taurus 2340 years before. So it's significant again. And why? And also this eclipse going to conjunct with Uranus retrograde. And Uranus is something sudden, and it's going to oppose with his natal sun. Okay, what else is going to go on? Look at that. Look at Mars here. Mars is in his 11th house of social status, and Mars is already in retrograde, and Mars is spending 7 to 8 months in actually Gemini, where Mars is restless. Mars is fire. Gemini is air. It's giving a lot of energy. It's putting the social surrounding of him on fire, and it's gonna burn, and it's in retrograde. And where is it going on retrograde? Look at that. It is actually retrograding on his natal and progress Uranus. So it's 4 degrees away. It's not exact, but anyway, it is significant. And because that is Gemini, so if we're going to count back, so here it doesn't do anything. It's a minor aspect. With Chiron, no. So with Neptune, it does actually do so how many? That is a square. And Neptune means hospitalization, and Neptune means like some kind of pulmonary issue, or it could be some kind of pandemic situation. But when Mars is conjuncting with Uranus, it could be some kind of, and actually it's in an air sign, and Uranus also could be aviation, and it is also could be airplane, because Gemini also rules traveling, and it could rule also like small airplanes or private jets or something like that. So it could be with this 22 degrees Neptunian square, it could represent a sudden death. It could represent an airplane crash or something like that. And don't forget, here is the eclipse season ending something what was his pride, because that is 10th house is reputation and pride and stage, but something is ending over here with this nodal return, and with Uranus conjuncting with this moon and opposing with his natal sun. So it's definitely really, really hard. And look at other thing, what I was watching. Okay, I was like counting. So here is this eclipse, and let's move forward to Leo. It's another square over here, and it's exact 16 degree. And that is here is his in the first house, Pluto. So that is another square with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And look at his ascendant, it's 22 degrees. So it is still squaring with the ascendant as well. So unfortunately, I see something tragic happened with Charles. And look at the other indication, because I was like, yeah, of course it can change for the positive because he's taking place or whatever. But look at that. Look at Saturn. Saturn and Uranus square anyway. But look at that. Saturn is on his natal Mars. And look at the natal Mars. And Saturn is opposing his Pluto on that day. So that, I think it will be truly tragic for Charles. All right, let's say. So he is not going to be really a long-term king if he will be at all. So I'm going to share something else with you. So let's have a new share. And let's see, who am I gonna share with you? Okay, so that is, I guess, no, let me go here. And I'm going to close that for a second. So I just want to go first to, who is this? That's me. You don't want to know that. All right, let's see who is this, and I'm gonna share that. Okay, that is November 1st, 1993. Okay, so you know who is that? Share. And we're going to share that video. So, okay. Yes, here. This is the European Union chart and the transit chart of the Union. So I was like, okay, the symbol of stability, the queen died. Then I checked charts. Oh, yeah, that's tragic. Okay, so what else can happen? I was like, okay, let me pull the chart for the European Union. So what can happen? And then I realized, look at that. Saturn return for the European Union. And you know, Saturn is already in retrograde, but it's going to reach 23 degree again. And then that Saturn return going to make here, you see, it's going to make a square with Uranus again. And Uranus is really close to the moon, which representing the people of the European people here. And you know, Saturn is restriction, Uranus is energy. So it could represent something like the energy usage is going to be actually restricted for the people of Europe. Okay, then what else going to happen? Because I was like, okay, let me actually analyze the chart further. What else could happen, right? So look at that Saturn. And then, of course, here is South Node. And South Node is, let me see if the chart, where is the chart? Is it today, the transit, or September 8th? Yes, September 8th. So actually I'm going to change here for November also, because I checked charts November also, and I truly believe the eclipse is going to bring a lot of devastating changes everywhere. Okay, so here, look. All right, so what's gonna happen? So this Saturn also going to square here with South Node Mercury, all right, in Scorpio. And let me see, so Mercury gonna be 15 degrees, so yeah, definitely it will. And it's going to create a T square with Saturn on November. And the eclipse is going to happen on Uranus actually, or which is like the 10th house is the politicians, representing the politicians. So it will be a sudden change in the structure of the European Union. Why? Because Saturn representing structure, and then it's going to be a sudden change. And you know what else going to happen? Because of the energy shortage, it's going to happen like the people moon going to protest and rebel, and look at that unfortunate even, look at Mars and look at Uranus opposition. And you know, Mars and Pluto unfortunately in conjuncting the fourth house, homeland. So the countries, it's representing homelands, it's representing the countries itself. It's not just real estate and families. Pluto and Mars conjunction is devastating, and it is opposing Uranus, which is like, what is that? What can, oh my God, I forget the name again. What can explode and just let me find the words for that. Nuclear structures. That is nuclear. It's not only energy, it's nuclear structures. Moon is there, so people can get hurt. Saturn is death also. Saturn is the general. It could represent Putin. Look, and then it's opposing. So unfortunately, the winter is coming, and unfortunately, the winter going to be devastating after this eclipse for most of us, for a lot of us. Okay, so European Union, you know, like, for example, this is Uranus is rebel and has no boundaries, just like Pisces has no boundaries. So actually Uranus is breaking down the walls and the boundaries. So it could represent something like like, Uranus is like, for example, invasion with this Saturn square. So it could start something like Russia not only going to invade Ukraine and some kind of nuclear tragedy happening also, but it's also going to start to invade other countries because of the the borders is not gonna be same. It's gonna get a new structures of the borders. And yes, indeed, here it is, Pluto and Mars. I don't even know where to go and what to do anymore, because I'm checking with my children if we should go to Costa Rica from America or where should we go, because it's going to be really a few years where we're going to need to hold hands to hands together and co-create our future. I know it's gonna be better. I have no doubt about that. But before sunrise, there is a dawn, and unfortunately, it could be difficult. Okay, let's see other subject over here. Who is this? December 17th. Oh, right, that is the Pope, because I was like, okay, so let's see. In my previous videos, I was like talking about end of Popeism, and I was like, yeah, Pisces and Saturn and Neptune going to go to Aries in 2026 beginning. I was like, yeah, that could be end of Popeism. But let's see here what is going to happen. Actually, 2025, not 26, at the beginning. So here is the Pope. And the Pope is also old. These people, they are old. So of course we can expect them to die anytime. But I was like, all right, I'm going to also change his chart here, guys. And I'm gonna erect everything for November 8th, because then it's the eclipse. And he is in Rome, Italy. And I'm going to do this new share with you. And it's going to be the Pope here. Let's see. Right? Share. Let's see. Is it the Pope? Yes. All right, here is the Pope. So he has a Cancer rising, but I get that from the Astro data bank, and it's never certain. I'm sure there was not a nurse over there and writing down the exact time when old people was born. However, we still can see major changes over here. And he already had a Uranus return here, which could be significant and powerful. But here it is what I saw. He does have his Saturn in Pisces in 8th house. And Saturn going to go to Pisces on March 23rd, but in 0 degree. His Saturn is actually on 16 degrees, so it is far away. It's not a Saturn return yet, but listen that. So there is something what I saw for the Pope. So Pluto is actually moving forward. Of course, it's also going to go to Aquarius. It's gonna enter Aquarius in March, but it still doesn't do anything. But Saturn, when it's entered Pisces, and it's already entered his 8th house of transformation and death, and when it enters Pisces, Pisces is, hospitalization and hospice. And when it enters Pisces, it's further into the middle of the 8th house and closer to his Saturn return. So that is something like, okay, let's think about that. Perhaps he's close to death also. And look at that on that day, Mars in the 12th house, guys, hospital, hospice, ending, South Node is ending, Mars, violent, Mars is infection. So that is going on his and exact on his South Node in the 12th house. And it's opposing his sun, his vitality. Where? In the 6th house of health. So that is significant for the Pope also that day. So there is a lot of people in once. The old structure is crumbling down, and we will create something beautiful and something new. Look at that. I just realized, look at Pluto opposition. It is hard, it's heavy. Mars on South Node and opposing the Sun. Come on. That is very, very heavy. And then something else I've seen here. And then I was like, okay, so that's November. Okay. But what about between so his health going to be really in danger in November. He might going to go to the hospital, some kind of infection. It could be pulmonary infection, however, some kind of pulmonary infection with Gemini tendencies. It could be, yeah, that situation. But then South Node slowly going to move actually on his IC. And South Node is in the fourth house in Scorpio anyway during the eclipse. Fourth house is not only family, homeland, but it's ending, it's funeral, it's completion, it's closure. So look at this eclipse. That is like, do you need to say anything more? No. Here, that's obvious also. So the Pope also going to have a significant change in decline is in his health. It could be something, again, it could be something devastated. That day, so the Scorpio eclipse, it's really, I'm really worried right now about that. And I know most of us going to be okay, but I know this kind of old structure, when it scrambles, it's going to create the change. And that's why, yes, I am actually scared about that. Okay, let's see, and let's move forward. Who is that? That is November 2042. Okay, new share, it's gonna be Biden. Okay, let's see. Biden, who is the 46th right now. Okay, look at that. He's Scorpio. Look, his 12th house. He had a very hard life anyway because he lost so many loved ones. So you can see from the 12th house. And look at the eclipse, South Node on his Mars. And and the eclipse, like Uranus and Moon in his sixth house of health. Something could be neurological. Uranus could be neurological. Uranus could be actually, because Uranus is the higher octave of mind, long-term memory and connection, the collective knowledge as well. So he can lose his mind. Alzheimer, dementia, ALS, anything like that. So by this time, he might even not know who he is. Look at that. So he's not necessarily gonna die on that day. I wouldn't be surprised if he also dies that day, but or around that day. But definitely, it could be like he doesn't remember and he has to give power away. Sixth house also work, and he has to give power away. That's what I believe, and that's what I think. And then Jupiter, Pluto. Pluto is power. Jupiter, it's like his reputation, and in eighth house of death, and second house over here, and it's going to be the transiting ascendant. So you know what, I would think his health is declining, and Jupiter is also the law representing, so he won't be capable to represent the country anymore. So he will need to transfer the power, even if he is not dying. But with this sixth house and 12th house opposition and the eclipse over here, come on, that is also very difficult for Biden as well. And there is a lot of other significator here. So for example, he had Jupiter Neptune conjunction in the fourth house. Fourth house is ending and funerals, as I said. It could be something pulmonary also, like the lung is filling up with water. And because Jupiter and Neptune, many times it's miraculous, but not all the time, because it can create flood, and it can create flood in the body as well. So, and it's on his IC, it's still on his IC and fourth house and on Ceres. So that is something, he's scared to lose something, he's scared to give up something, but most likely will have to, because he won't be conscious anymore. He won't be capable to think anymore. That is the higher octave of mind, long-term memory. And, this is the moon, is the people, and it's opposing Mars. He doesn't want to hurt the people, hopefully, to navigate us into something crappy. So, but South Node on Mars, definitely, it's like, all right, his life is also in jeopardy here. All right, let's move forward, guys. And I'm going to actually check, what is that? I'm going to check the US chart, and I'm going to have a new share for you. So new share, and here it is, the US chart. And I'm gonna come over here because I also see, so it's not only we have a Pluto return 3 times exact in the second house of finance, right? So that is like inflation, it's devastation. It is like crumbling down the financial system. It is depression, great depression. But look at that. I hate this Saturn moving on the US moon. And I tell you why. I hate this Saturn to move US moon because of, it's also King Kongs with Mercury in 8th house. And Mercury is sales, right? And it's in Cancer, Cancer representing real estate. And 8th house is bank and other people's money. So it's going to stop the banks to give people mortgage whatsoever. So that is going to be devastating. But why I'm scared of this? Because I checked China, I checked Ukraine before, and of course I always check Russia as well, but they are in really strong position right now, like scary strong position right now. And whenever Saturn moved on a country's moon, there was a devastating news. So in 2020 beginning, then Saturn moved on Jupiter of China. Then a few months later, no, 2019 actually, November moved on Jupiter of China. Then in end of December and beginning 2020, moved on China's moon. It's very early degrees Aquarius moon they had. What's happened in 2020, very beginning in China? The lockdown already, a lot of people died. The virus, they say it came from there. And it was devastated for the people. Saturn is restriction, it's restricted the people. And Saturn is also death. So it's increased the death of the public, the people. All right, and then I move forward, and then I checked Ukraine. And then Ukraine has a moon in Aquarius of 13 degrees or something like that. So Saturn, when Saturn was on Ukraine moon, what's happened? Or 16 degrees, something like that. In February 24th, the war started with Russia. So when it was exact on its moon, I was like, oh crap. And then I checked the US and I was like, all right, I wanted the real estate bubble to pop. But then when I said, yeah, it's King Kongs with the sale, Mercury sale, and this is definitely homes and real estate. Okay, so but then it's 8th house, gonna stop the mortgage. We're not gonna be money, not gonna be available. And then Saturn is going over here, and 3rd house ruled by Gemini in astrology. But if it's coming over here in the 3rd house, it's also representing sales and digital currency. So either they're going to tax digital currency very badly in US, or not going to be available the digital currency for the public, or it will be stolen, something like that. Or in general, it could, because the 3rd house representing also some kind of respiratory system issues and Saturn over there, it could be a new virus, a new lockdown in February somehow. And it doesn't have to be COVID. It could be monkeypox. It could be something else. But because it King Kongs with Mercury also, so it could affect the brain. It could affect the way we are um, understand information. And it could also be like Saturn is restriction moon, like they going to deny the information from us. So we're going to be blinded, and it's going to be a major censorship. Or it could be simple as it is, the whole entire internet system is going to be locked down because they don't want to know, they don't want us to know what's going on around us. So they want us to be in the shadow, in the basement, 8 houses basement, where it's totally dark and deep. So yeah, they don't want us to see, but definitely Saturn over here, it's definitely going to be devastating for the people of US. All right, guys, it is very, very concerning for me, really, truly concerning. However, I I truly believe we came here for a reason. We were born to make a change. We were born because maybe we are strong enough to take this crap, or fight for our freedom and co-create something together that's going to be actually unbelievable good. And don't forget, we are still swinging around and swinging on the Pisces and Aquarius ages. Soon we are entering Aquarius, which is truly humanitarian. And Pluto, when it's gonna go to Aquarius, it's gonna be a major change. The old is dead, the old structure is dead, and we have to rebuild. Pluto is bringing down, demolishing, detoxifying. So we here for a reason. So what am I doing with this astrology charts when I see something scary or sad? I always go to meditate, and I always visualize, and I always like, all right, you know what? I want to have a better future. I want to have it for my children. I want to have it for my friends, for my loved one, and for the future generation. So I start to meditate, and I start to think positively. How can we do that? Yeah, there is going to be challenge. Yes, there is going to be people dying, but then we are capable to rebuild, and we are capable to do something beautiful. And I truly believe in that. So hold on tight, try to meditate, try to imagine something positive, because of the collective consciousness, the collective knowledge, the collective thoughts are very, very important and truly important. So I hope we're going to do something amazing together. Wait for my other videos. I hope the Libra new moon going to be better. I'm gonna check it out, and I'm gonna record it soon. And I wish you safe and peaceful, like months ahead. Thank you for listening me. And if you would like to check out my website, that is www.urbanwitch.org. Thank you for listening. Bye, guys.